All right, guys, this is video number 2 on arc length. So I kind of just want to talk through what this means, and then we'll write a formula for it. So really, you have a circle, which is what we're working on. And if I draw on the circle, that whole red line I did was the circumference. So circumference is really just like the perimeter of your circle. And then we're going to say there's a random arc in here that has a central angle, and then this is your arc. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the length of this. So the first thing we're going to figure out is what fraction this is of the whole circumference. So if I know this angle is that theta, then I know that this arc is going to be whatever this angle is out of the full 360. So to figure out what that fraction is, it would just be that angle out of 360 degrees. And then if I want to know what this total length is, I could find the whole circumference and then just multiply by whatever this fraction is. And then that will give me the length of just this portion or the piece of pizza. So really, we're going to multiply this by the circumference. Okay, so what they have is they have the x is the degree measure of an arc. So this is the arc and this is the degree measure of it. And then the circumference is this big C. So the formula they have is they do this little L for the arc length is your x, your central angle, your degree of that arc, divided by 360 degrees times the whole circumference. Okay, so that's going to be your guys' formula. And then remember, we're doing this is just a piece of pizza. And all this is calculating is this is calculating the length of the crust. So if you cut out a piece of pizza with a different arc measure, a different length, we want to know how long that actually is. So that's the formula we're going to use today. Okay, so let's just start working through these. So it says if EB is 15, find the length of the arc CD. Okay, so we do need a couple of things. The first thing we want to figure out is what is the angle of the arc that we're trying to find. So I can see this is the diameter. This is 68 degrees. So in order to get this angle right here, you're just going to do 180 minus 68, and you'll get that arc to be 112 degrees. So this is 112 degrees out of the whole 360. And then the other piece of information we need is the circumference of the circle, which again is just 2 pi r, so 2 pi times 15, or 30 pi. So then to find the arc length, so what is the actual length of this arc in the circle, you just use our formula. So the degree of that arc is 112 out of our 360, so that's the fraction this is of the whole circle. And then we're going to multiply that by our circumference, which is 30 pi. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to plug that in your calculator. So let's get our calculator out over here. Okay, so you would do, if you want to leave it exact, 112 divided by 360 times 30. And then you can math frac it up. So then they'll say this is 28 pi over 360, and then the units we were working in was centimeters, so it's that many centimeters long. And then if you want to estimate it, remember you can just take this answer times pi. So then you just do times pi, and then it gives me the decimal is about 29.32 centimeters long. So that means this crust of this pizza is 29.32 centimeters long. Okay, let's do it again. So if NR is 8 feet, we want to find the length of the arc NMP. So we're looking for this arc right here. And then they do give us this little portion is 162. So we got to do a little bit of work to figure out what the angle of this arc is. The first thing I realized is that these two angles are vertical angles, so that means they should be equal. And I also know that this is a diameter, so I know that this plus one of these angles has to equal 180. So to get this angle right here, I'm going to do 180 minus this 162, and I'm going to get this angle is 18 degrees. So if that's the case, then this one also has to be 18 degrees, and then remember the arcs are congruent to that. So if I want to get the angle of this whole arc, the x value that we're going to use in this formula up here, you just do 180 plus 18, because 180 would give you this portion, or I guess this portion, and then you add this extra 18. So your angle that we're going to use is 198 degrees, because that is the measure of arc NMP. is equal to that. And then the other thing we need is the circumference. So circumference is going to be 2 pi r, which in this case is just going to be 16 pi. And then all you do is plug it in. So length equals 198 out of 360. So your angle of the arc is 198 out of your full 360 times your circumference, which is 16 pi. And then if we want to leave it exact, we just plug in 198 divided by 360 times 16. And it's a nice 8.8. So 8.8 pi, and then this was feet, or about, if you want to multiply that in, you just do this times pi. We get about 27.65 feet. And so either one of those is acceptable answers whenever you guys are doing these lengths. Okay, so then VS, in this case, this entire diameter is 12, so that means my radius is going to be 6. We want to find the length of this little UT right here. So a couple things we need is we need that angle. So let's see what we can do here. So I know that these are the two lines that are creating those angles. So I would say that this entire arc is congruent to this entire arc because those angles are vertical. So I know I can get the angle of this degree. I just do 127 minus 90 because this is a 90 degree. So if I take 127 minus 90, I'll get this angle. And so I can get that angle to be 37 degrees. And then the other thing I need is the circumference, which is just 2 pi r, which is going to be 12 pi. And then we just plug it in. So 37 out of 360 times our circumference, 12 pi. So then you just do 37 divided by 360 times 12. And then that's really ugly, so I'm going to turn it into a fraction, and it comes out to be 37 30ths, and then you just put the pi back in there, so pi, and then the units in this one was meters. And then again, if you want to estimate, you just do second pi, oops, nope, 37 divided by 30 times pi. And so this is going to be about 3.87 meters long. So that's how long that crust is either one of these, whether you want it exact or not. Yeah, that's really all you guys do. I don't know if I need to do more examples in this video. If you guys need some more help, reach out. But really, those are the only things you need is your angle of that arc out of the full 360 and then the circumference. You just have to be careful whether you're given the radius or the circumference. And then what you guys are going to now go do is you're going to go do homework number 5, which is practicing this. And then I do have an answer key, so just make sure you guys are checking answers. And as always, please reach out if you guys have questions. And I hope you're having a great day. Bye, guys.